Look like Hotspot, the dude who be doing those smiles. Yeah, Jay, you stupid. Hey, what is up, people? We back again. Like I posted, told you we was going live doing a part 2 of this Rockets situation. Should the Rockets trade James Harden? My
Lame,
ESPN crew. I need to fire whoever's doing these banners. I swear.
lame James Harden. Lame James, is that what you're saying? Lame
Nah,
James.
somebody misspelled it on the banner. I don't know who be doing these graphics. I'm telling you, whoever if I find the guy doing these graphics, I'm firing him. Swear, cannot spell.
It's a good thing we're paying him.
Jesus.
It's a good thing we're paying him a minimum wage.
He's getting too much money the way he be messing up. Anyway, shoot, $1 too much for him. But yeah, so we in here talking about should the Rockets trade James Harden. Before we get to it real quick, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I put the link in the Facebook channel as well as the YouTube description. Get in there. Appreciate all the love that we've been seeing, support, friends, family, randoms, all that type of stuff. Appreciate it that you guys keep showing up. Now listen, this is for the viewers, man. Like, so we do the lives just to get the fans involved to see what they want to talk about, as well as your opinions and stuff like that. So please make sure you put anything you want to talk about in the comments. We will make sure we pop it up and address it. If it's too vulgar, we might just mention it without showing it, but we still gonna shout you out. But let's try to keep it PG
I
13 so we
mean,
can pop your stuff up.
if it's crazy vulgar, you're on the wrong channel anyway. Not channel. You're on the wrong social media. You need to go find yourself something else.
Yeah,
You can be on.
facts,
You
right?
can't be on YouTube with all that damn frustration in your chest.
Yeah, you need
You're
to
on
go
YouTube.
on
You're on YouTube,
OnlyFans.
bro.
Do OnlyFans. Hey, OnlyFans is there for you. If you want to do only your fans, so you can say whatever you want. Only your fans.
I was saying, you're on YouTube, bro. Relax.
So, but yeah, so let's pop it off real quick. So, Fat, I know we had this discussion earlier in the week. Let me know how you feel about the boy James Harden and what the Rockets should do with him.
Yeah, man. So like you mentioned, like I said, we actually did a recorded video on this. So make sure you guys go check out that video. It's probably gonna go a little bit more in depth on our thoughts, obviously, because it's a couple minute long video. I think it's like a 15-20 minute long video. Anyway, but the point being is, um, go in there, check out our thoughts on the pre-recorded video. I think it just came out today, actually. But real quick, man, yes. To sum it up, yes, they need to change trade James Harden. Simple reason why. Not necessarily because of James Harden. I don't think he's like washed up. I don't think he's over the hill. I don't think he's can't get it done. Well, he can't get it done. But besides the point, what I'm saying? Like it's not necessarily him. But what I'm saying is, I just think that Houston in itself just needs a complete reboot. Like reboot.
Control
Like
Alt
like
Delete.
bro. Like how like for us IT folks, what I'm saying? We'll be like, hey man, no matter what's
Reimage.
going on with your no, yeah, exactly. Like no matter what's going on with your computer, like people be like, we be like, hey, IT 101, reboot your machine, right? But
Restart.
but but a lot of people, like when you tell a lot of users to reboot your machine, like it's cool, what I'm saying, they go to the little start menu, then they hit restart. But bro, I need you to like turn the computer off. Like I need you to push that button down for a couple seconds and just turn it completely off and let it stay off for a good minute or two and then
Mm-hmm.
turn it back on. Like they need a complete 100% reboot. So yes, they need to trade him because of that. Like I said, they've had Harden out for, man, 6, 7 seasons, 8 seasons, or whatever it is. They brought in multiple talent to help him out. At one point,
Mm-hmm.
they had a great role player. You know what I'm saying? Supporting cast. Still couldn't get it done. So it's like, what else? What else do you want? Like what else can you possibly do that's going to make it work? Like you cannot do nothing else. You can't. You've tried everything. changing coaches, bringing in different talent, all-star talent, Hall of Fame talent, and you cannot get it. You can't get over the hill. So I say yes. They need to go ahead and trade him because they just need a complete reboot. Period.
Now my question to you is and then do what? You know, like, okay, then you're back being irrelevant. You let go of James Harden, you're irrelevant again. Like, to me, I don't. But it depends on what you get back. You know, of course, it depends on the haul you get back. But I just feel like you let James Harden go. You need a bona fide star to replace, not a superstar. Now, mind you, what I just said. I said you need a bona fide star because you're not going to get a superstar for James Harden because most time, 9 times out of 10, no team wants to part with their superstar. So you're not going to get a superstar. But my thing is that what star is one going to replace James Harden, and two, 9 times out of 10 you're going to go back to kind of like the OKC kind of way where you're just in the rebuilding mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they did well and they got to the playoffs, technically they're just rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're starting this whole new track, and I don't know if that's where Steve Ballmer. No, he's the Clippers guy. I think this is another guy. Yeah, so not him. So I think the Houston owner, he's pretty outspoken. I don't think that's where he wants to go. So what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't just you don't want to just start over. No franchise wants to start over.
I mean, I get it, but they kind of like they've held on to this guy for so long. So you kind of, it's almost like every year that you don't get it done and you hold on to one piece, you're literally digging another foot of dirt, of hole, like just digging your grave. So you're so far down now, it's like you have to start climbing back up. So it's like you have no choice but to start over. Like, you're now 6 feet under, like you got to start from 6 feet under and just make your way back up to the top. So, and do what is exactly that. Like, you just have to go little by little and climb out of the hole. And like we mentioned in our pre-recorded video, you want to get it done, sooner rather than later, because at this point James Harden is still worth something. You know what I'm saying? In about 2 or 3 seasons, he's not gonna be worth that much. He's not gonna be worth as much as what he is now. Don't let it turn into a Carmelo Anthony situation, right? Where it's like, bro, Carmelo could have, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, bro, nobody wanted to take Carmelo, and Carmelo was a bona fide superstar at one point, maybe, whatever it is. But he was a bona fide scorer, and when he tailed off, bro, you couldn't give nobody a pack of bro. He couldn't take a pack of gum, but like, bro, let me just play with your team, bro, and I'll take some double mint. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give me some double mint chewing gum, and I'm good. And people are like,
nah.
Like, you mean like a whole pack? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because we can hit you with a couple of Dentine Ice, a couple pop, pop them out. We can give you a couple of those.
Yeah, because you're doing too much. Oh yeah, because they definitely, you know how them little icebreakers.
Yeah,
like you could open the big pot. You can open the big part. You can open
the share,
the little one.
Share, yeah.
The share. You gotta shake that shit like 10 times to get one out.
Here you go, bro.
That's what you get. Here you go. Anyway, no, but you know what I'm saying. But point is, don't let it turn into something like that, where it's like, because all it takes is one season for you to become a non-factor, and people be like,
he's not worth it.
Are you really worth it? So the fact that he's still kind of worth it right now, you don't want to let it go to waste. And like we said in our pre-recorded video, he could still, right now, I think he could still haul. He could still demand whatever, Houston could still demand a star, again, not a superstar, but a star off of whatever team, and at a minimum 2 to 3 first-round picks for the next couple seasons.
Listen,
or whatever.
I said this, I'll say it again. If Paul George went for 3 first-rounders, James Harden needs to be like, it's disrespectful if it's anything less. Just that, I mean, like, listen, It is disrespectful if Pandemic P carries more weight than me. Let's just say that. So, but okay,
Exactly.
so to answer the question, and I don't trade James Harden. Now, listen. You know I am not a fan. You know I've thrown James Harden under many buses. I don't I don't feel I am not a fan. I don't like the style of play. I don't think he's a winner. I just don't even get me going on James Harden. But I don't trade him. I find anybody and their mama willing to take Westbrook though. I find anybody willing to take Westbrook. That's who I would let go before I let James Harden go. Now, don't get me wrong, Westbrook affects the game more, and we both talked about it, how, defensively he can impact, hustle, rebounding, intensity, steal, all that. He impacts the games in more ways, but it's a scoring league, and when he's off, he's awful. Like, he's just
off.
I mean,
like side of the rim. I never played ball before off.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you like,
but he gonna talk
and shooting over the rim. Like, you be like, whoa, wait a minute.
But he gonna talk a lot of cash shit. Like, he dropping 40 on your head every night. It don't matter.
Love it, and I love him for it. He's like a mini KG, bro. Love him. But so I'm looking to trade Westbrook now. If that can't follow, I'm trading both of them. If I don't feel like Harden, because listen, and it's gonna go to my next question, but if I don't feel like Harden can get me over the hump, and I'm on full rebuild mode, I can haul. I might get 2 firsts for West. I might get 2. I'm not gonna get no 3 because people are starting to see. No. People are starting to see that Westbrook is a liability in some instances. He can be a serious liability.
A ticking time bomb.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you're not probably going to get what you think you should get for him. But for Harden, like I said, he's getting top dollar, top prime. So now I'm trading them both off. So now I got a lot of assets. But in the NBA, it's about stars. Like in the NFL, it's about assets. It's about, I got 2 first rounders, and I got, in the NBA, first round draft picks are like, if it's not top 5, they're like,
yeah, but you don't think that with if they trade both of those guys, let's say they end up with, if they trade both of those guys, they end up with 5 or 6
first round
picks over the next 4 seasons, 5 seasons. I mean, that's a long time for you to be like, all right, we're gonna not, and then throughout that time, try to wheel and deal here and there, get some people in and out. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, they got 4 to 5, like I said, top first round picks for the next 4 to 5 seasons. Like, that's a huge rebuilding process and potential, I should say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. I just, it's a lot that goes into it. But this is the question I want to get into right here. Is James Harden a Robin or a Batman?
I say he's a Rob man. He's right in between.
Man, if that's not straddling the fence as best you can.
He's a Rob man. Hey, because you know why though? You know why? Because in the regular season, he's Batman. He's Batman and Superman all season. But in the playoffs, if that boy don't go into that damn booth and change outfit so fast, to be like, I am now Robin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
big ol' R on the chest.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. So he's literally both. So if you're a team that, if you're a team that takes Harden, and you're like, okay, we're not okay. I mean, everybody's going to tell you that they want to win this championship. Everybody's going to tell you that. But really, what owners and the business part of it really is putting butts in the seats and all that good stuff.
Getting the pay.
Getting the money. So if that's bringing James Harden into your organization, you're gonna win it's gonna be a winning season every single season. James Harden's a superstar. Then it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Dollars wise, business wise, it makes sense.
listen, once again, I have been known. I am not a James Harden fan. I feel like he's a Rodman through and through, right? The reason I feel the reason he comes off as a Batman is because a style of play is focused on his game. So it's like, right. Well, it'll be no different than if everything went through. Let's say if Draymond was that's not a good example. Let's say Clay. Good example, Clay. Let's say if everything went through Clay, he didn't have Steph. He would be considered a Batman because they're like, bro, like everything's running through Clay. Like we just doing, hey, pick and roll for this, da-da-da-da-da. But then when you get him in the situation, you're like, is he really that guy? Can he really put the team on his back? Because James Harden has had so many opportunities to be the guy, and he comes up so short every single time. I'm like, you can literally, I would bet my last dollar that he would drop the ball before he goes over the hump. That's how strongly I feel about James Harden wilting in playoff moments. But you're right. Regular season, he is freaking magnificent. Magnifico. You know what I'm saying? But like in the playoffs, I don't know what it is because you can't even say the last couple of years, oh, it's because he's been worn down and he hasn't had the help and he didn't have this and he has the ball too much and he over usage. Well, that's what you got Westbrook for, right? That's what you had Chris Paul for, right? Like that's what that situation came down to. And then you're up 3-2 on the defending champs at your place in game 6, and you can't close it out. So to me, he needs to wear that Robin with pride. The red cape looks good on him, and he needs to go to a team that has a dominant superstar, i.e., well, I wouldn't even say the Greek because I don't even think the Greek is that, he's that A dominant. What team would no Hall, superstar for superstar, what team does he match up with?
That's a good question because so he's a Robin with a Batman mentality. So like he cannot. That's the whole reason why he left OKC because he couldn't handle that. He couldn't handle being the second or third guy.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not why he left OKC. So? Nah, he left OKC because they wouldn't pay him.
Well, yeah, but he also wanted his own team. I mean, he did want that too.
That's not true. He had an interview. He had an interview when he first got to Houston and said he would have been fine playing with. He would have been fine being a sixth man coming off the bench with KD, Westbrook, because he felt that they had a real brotherhood and he liked what they had. He said the only reason he left is because they chose to pay Ibaka over him. And they wouldn't go into the luxury tax to pay him what he wanted. That's why he left.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. But that was back then. But what about now?
Oh yeah, it's his team. He's used to he ain't coming off the bench for nobody.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, look how long it took Carmelo. Look how long it took Carmelo to finally accept that. You know what I'm saying? And James Harden. I mean, they're almost one and the same with the mentality wise. They're almost one and the same. Like it's me, all me. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna score on everybody. I ain't gonna play no defense, but I'm gonna score on everybody whenever I want to. I'm gonna score 100 points every game.
I think you gotta give Harden some credit, right? Because he didn't come into the league as a superstar. Melo came into the league as a bona fide superstar. Like, bro, he's like Syracuse starting freshman. Denver is your franchise. New York is your franchise. Like, he's always been the guy. So when Harden came in, he was kind of like a low draft. He was kind of under the radar. Now
he was just another guy on the team.
He was just another guy on the team. And then he found a role as the sixth man in OKC. And then when he left and did his own thing at Houston, now it's his world. Then he's like, nah, let me show y'all what I can really do. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, whoa, who's this? Who's this guy? Fear the Beard. Well, it started in OKC technically, but you know what I'm saying? He kind of built his brand off that. So, I mean, I agree with you. Now with the mentality that he has, coming off the bench is non-existent. It's not. He's not. That's not even an option.
It's not even just coming off the bench, but what about
sharing.
playing? What about being right? What about being like an actual co-star? Because arguably with CP3, even now with Westbrook, whatever, like they don't, bro. LeBron and AD play
Perfect.
together, play together. You know what I'm saying? You go down the list of stars. I mean, Clay, obviously Clay and Steph play together. I mean, their whole team is built around that. I mean, who else? I mean, we could literally go down the list. The big three and the Celtics when they had the big three, it was a team. It was a big
Yeah.
three, but a team. You know what I'm saying? The only person who really went 1-on-1 down the stretch
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was a team effort.
Yeah.
If you look at, go back and watch these games with James Harden, CP3, James Harden, Westbrook, James Harden, whoever, and there was no like team. It was all right. We're gonna come down the court. All right, you go. All right, you go now. It's your go. You go ISO. All right, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
come down the court. Okay, I'm gonna go ISO. We're gonna come down the court. Okay, you go ISO. Like it was not. It was literally like pick a ball, and they just came down the court, and it was all right. Your world. Go to work. Go to work. And they come down the court the next time. All right, your world. Go to work. But there was no like, there was no movement in the offense as far as the two superstars.
Mm-hmm.
No movement. No setting picks. No coming off of picks. None of that. It was just either give me the ball at the top of the key where I like to start dribbling and get my own shot, or I'm just gonna stand over here and watch you do what you do.
That's true.
That was pretty much it. So it was like, so yes, you had at any given point on Houston, you had two or three people that were talented, but you didn't have to. Your defense didn't have to move to guard them off the ball. Now,
Oh
when they
no,
got the
they were
ball,
stationary. Yeah, 1-on-1. Yeah, you had the D up. But I get what you're
right?
saying. You're not worried about cutters and motion and all that type of stuff. It's either pick and roll or ISO. That's it.
That's it. So
Yeah.
with James Harden going to another team, and they don't cater to his style of play, how is he going to handle that? That's another question.
So going back to this one though, is the fit, because when he had Clint Capella, that was a nasty matchup because
Right.
he could get in the lane, lob it up, dunk. You know what I'm saying? And Clint Capella lived. So I feel like him and the Greek would kind of work each other. They kind of will work. Now, I see two Robins, but I feel like it's a great fit. I don't see. It's hard for me to see him working with another strong guard, like a Dame or a even a CJ McCollum, maybe a Bradley Beal because he's a spot up shooter, not really an off the ball kind of guy. I think what will work really well, if he went to the Pelicans, listen, I want everybody to go to the Pelicans. I want everybody to fly. If he went to the Pelicans and let Lonzo Ball do what he can do, facilitate, get everybody involved, that would be so nasty. So nasty. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think any situation that gets James Harden off the ball is a good situation because it takes away. Now, don't get me wrong. You need a bucket in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, go to work.
Go to work. Do your thing. But if we're talking about first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, he needs to be off the ball. And I feel like he needs to start learning how to come off down screens, work within a system, work within a style of play that works. So who I would like to see him with if he was traded, I think him in the Suns would work because Devin Booker is a good guard that can take you off the dribble. They'll kind of be like a take turn situation, but they also have that DeAndre Ayton guy. So they have the rebounding for the shooters. Who else? What else? I think him going to the. I think if he went to the Pacers, it'll be more like the Houston Rockets style, to where he's the focal point. But I think I really like with him in the Greek Freak. If he could link up with the Greek Freak, them two in a pick and roll. If the Greek Freak could get a jump shot, stop the presses. Stop the presses. Stop the presses. But let me see. We got a comment real quick. Ooh, the Spurs. Greg Pop. I didn't even think about that. But see, that's
I
him. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't know, man. I don't know because the Greg like the whole philosophy is team ball, like
Mm-hmm.
team ball. Like don't people forget that another. I'm glad I'm glad Cantrell said the Spurs because while you were talking about trying to give examples for a Batman that's not necessarily a Batman, the first person I thought of while you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you though. DeMar DeRozan,
He is not that
like
guy.
exactly, but he was made to be that guy in Toronto. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they catered to him. They put him on that pedestal. They featured him.
Yeah.
He went to the Spurs, bro. When's the last time you've heard about DeMar DeRozan? Like where? When's the last time you even heard of that dude?
Right,
Like
averaging like 12 points.
so you know what I'm saying. So James Harden is a bigger name, obviously than DeMar, but at the end of the day, it's going to be almost the same thing. Like the Spurs were so great because and they made Pop that ultimate coach, just like Phil Jackson, because he had stars that bought into the system
Mm-hmm.
and then and they produced in that system, right? So when you got a superstar that's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but that's not really my game. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
And that
Same thing with Demar.
now does that make if you if you're a great coach, should you be able to change your system to fit a great player?
I mean, I think you should be able to work him into your system to make a great player. But the point is, the whole thing with different coaches is, especially in the NBA period, but especially in the NBA, is every coach has their niche. Every coach has their brand.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these coaches, they have their thing. Oh, he's a defensive coach. This guy, when he comes in, Tim Thibodeau, he comes in, he's going to be preaching about defense. Mark Jackson comes in, if he comes on coach, that's going to be a defensive minded team. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, Mike D'Antoni comes in, ain't
Offense.
nobody playing defense, but everybody going to be running. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a
Yeah.
straight offensive team. Like, everybody has their thing. You know what I'm saying? So Pop has his thing. Phil
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, if you were playing a Phil Jackson team for 30 years, you had to go against the triangle. Like, like everybody do it. But it was his thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he had, again, a perfect example. And granted, would it work? Would that offense work today in today's NBA? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, he had Hall of Famers,
Running it.
two arguably on the top 3, 4 all time NBA at least.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, more than that. Because let's say 4 because Pippen, Jordan, Shaq, Kobe.
Kobe.
You know what I'm saying? So he had 4 arguably of the top 5 in the all-time NBA, right? And they ran his offense, even though they were great players. They ran his scheme,
Mm-hmm.
and they made it work. So should the coach change up and be like, all right, I'm gonna change everything that I know, my whole philosophy, and just cater everything to you? No, but they should be able to fit that player to make sure that their system, that player works well within their system.
Makes
If that makes
sense.
sense.
No,
That
that
makes
makes
sense.
sense. That makes sense. All right. Well, we just try to pop this off, give you a little bit to think about, give you some questions, get some answers. Appreciate the comment, Barfield. We probably gonna shut this down. Be back a couple days for these games coming up. We got some
Sunday.
Sunday we got some videos dropping soon for our predictions on the games coming up on this Sunday. So you guys stay tuned for that. You got anything else, Fat?
No, that's it, man. They'll all probably be out tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So you probably gonna have at least 45 video drop tomorrow. So make sure y'all
All
stay
right.
tuned. There's gonna
Too
be
easy,
content
too
galore.
easy. Hey, we appreciate y'all for checking in. We're gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.
We out of here, man.